Welcome to AI TV. We're broadcasting here from Cape Town, and it's a real pleasure to welcome Celina Lee, who is the CEO of Zindi.
Thanks. Thank you so much for having me.
Brilliant. Celina, always a pleasure to talk to you. I mean, the Zindi platform has become the de facto data science challenge platform in Africa. I mean, aren't you getting up to about 8,000 users now?
Yeah, I mean, we're monitoring it every day, and every day the number is just increasing. I mean, we get about over 100 new registrations every week, so it's hard to keep up with the count. Yeah. But we were about 70 shy of 8,000 this morning when I checked. Okay, so it's like a daily check. That's fantastic. I mean, and having launched 14 months ago, you launched at AI Expo 2018, right? Yes, exactly. And we're about 30 competitions in, 8,000 users in, about $40,000 in prizes dispersed to these winners. So yeah, we're getting some traction. So for people new to Zindi and data science challenges, do you want to explain a little bit about how the Zindi platform works and the kind of customers that you have asking you to solve their problems? Yeah, sure. I mean, so essentially, the way that we work is that we sit down with an organization and help them define some type of machine learning or AI solution that they would like to ask the Zindi community to help them build. So we provide that platform where we can host the challenges from the companies and organizations, and where the community of African data scientists from across the continent can access those challenges and data sets, work on the solutions, and over the course of a few months submit their best solutions, and at the end of it, the top 3 solutions go to the organization that needed it. Wow. And give us some examples of the challenges that you have been working on in the last year. Yeah, I mean, well, actually just recently, so in October, we launched a new competition with Sanral and Uber to basically predict when and where the next road accident will happen in Cape Town. Wow, so that would be really handy. Yeah, I mean, for Sanral, it would be an amazing tool for them to be able to anticipate and deploy their resources and their first responders more efficiently and quickly, because what they explain to us is the the time from when an incident happens to when the first responders arrive. Every second counts at that point. Yeah. Every second is a difference between life and death. And so if they can close that gap even further using technologies like AI and machine learning, I mean, that's, that could be very powerful, not just for Cape Town, but I guess any city, would probably find these solutions very useful. But yeah, so in October we launched a new competition, and with Sanral and Uber, we have I think about $6,000 in prizes, and we also launched that with a hackathon, with an in-person hackathon in Stellenbosch, which was really fun. We got together a whole bunch of young data scientists from across Cape Town. Just there hacking away and building models and solutions for Sanral. So it was really exciting. So, I mean, obviously that's a very specific one to Cape Town, but I think you were looking at traffic congestion in Nairobi, you were looking at, there was a farming, remote sensing. I mean, give us some feel for some of the other challenges. I mean, what's amazing about machine learning and AI, well, actually someone said it to me recently, is that what's fun is you get to play in everyone's backyard. Yeah. So, all every different industry, sectors, every sector, different industries can benefit from AI and machine learning. So, just to give some examples of other competitions we've done, we worked with FarmPin, which is a ag tech startup company here in Cape Town that uses satellite imagery to, improve agriculture and provide services to farmers in South Africa. So we did a challenge with them to use satellite imagery to recognize what type of crops are growing, which is amazing because otherwise you'd have to actually go and visit the farms, go and collect data on what crops are growing there. But what if you could use satellite imagery, which is free? Sentinel-2 imagery is absolutely free. And almost in real time, you're able to monitor what's going on in your country in terms of what crops are growing. Wow. So that was with FarmPin. Another one that we did was in Nairobi, also using traffic patterns, which is similar to what we're doing here in Cape Town, but using traffic patterns rather to predict the demand for different public transportation routes on different days and different hours. So when is, what routes are most needed and when, So obviously that'll improve, that could improve traffic, because that means that buses are going to be where they need to be when they need to be, and just improve the quality of life for anyone who needs to use public transportation to get where they're going.
Yeah, I mean, as someone who's regularly sat in Cape Town traffic, anything that would improve that would be a godsend. So, I mean, clearly the mechanics of the platform are, you have a challenge, it gets put out to the community, which I think is, 52 out of 54 countries now in Africa can contribute to the platform. But how does a company interact with you? How do you go about interacting with them? Let's say the Western Cape government or City of Cape Town want to interact with you and say, hey, we've got this problem, let's unpack it with you. How does that interaction work?
Yeah, I mean, it's very much like we walk a journey with our so-called clients, our partners. So if the Western Cape government, or in the case of Sanral, is interested in exploring use cases of machine learning, then it's something that definitely we sit down with them. We try to understand, what are the issues that are front of mind for them? What are they struggling with? What opportunities do they see? And we, and depending on what level of, what kind of internal capacity they have for machine learning, it's really also about just raising the level of awareness and educating people about what are the possibilities. You're struggling with something, say, roadside accidents, but how do you translate that into something that machine learning can actually, make your internal systems more efficient so that you can do the work that you're doing. And so...
But isn't essentially the benefit for them, or any organization, commercial or government, is that you can switch on this army of 8,000 people who are highly motivated to solve that problem.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
So they don't have to go through recruitment, they don't have to go get contractors in, they don't have to go to lots of big consultancies. They can say, here's our challenge.
Yes.
Let's unpack it with you, and then you can start the process of tapping into this continental-wide talent pool to solve that problem. Now,
exactly.
That surely is a game changer for how AI can be used as a force for good. I mean, that...
Yeah, I would agree. You've captured it. Zindi is kind of like this on-demand, when you need it, where you need it. And it's amazing because a company might normally engage a consultant, or even an expensive consultancy to solve their problem, but then you're limited to just that one perspective, just that one, whatever they produce for you is what you buy. Whereas with Zindi, you know that you're buying only the best of the best. You know that, of our 8,000 data scientists, some are specialized in, in computer vision. Others are specialized in deep learning. Others are natural language processing. So, that as they bubble up through the leaderboard during the competitions, that the ones that are, the best at whatever problem you're trying to solve are the ones that you're actually going to be able to draw on in the end.
And I think there's another dimension to that as well, which is that you can potentially also source people who have a uniquely African or local perspective.
Yes.
That if we're lucky enough to have a car and we can drive through this horrible traffic, but actually many transport problems for the vast majority of people aren't anything to do with cars. It's taxis, it's buses, it's trains. It's a whole mixture of things. So you're tapping into local knowledge and local experience, which again, if you went with a large consultancy, they might not have that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, another competition that we just launched recently is for local languages. And so that's an example of where, a nonprofit organization in Kenya is interested in, I guess, seeing what kind of and actually they're partnering with a whole consortium of other natural language processing experts in Africa. But people are interested in seeing what can the community come up with? People who actually know these languages and speak these languages. Exactly. What kind of data sets can they come up with? Which is so powerful because, as an outsider, say like sitting in Silicon Valley, how much do you know about I don't even know how many numbers of language, how many languages there are.
I think there's 2,000 languages in Africa.
Right, yes.
So that's a lot of languages, and machine learning is tackling most of the core ones, but still a long way off localization on this continent. So we need more diversity, we need more inclusivity, we need to remove bias from AI, which is a big thing in the news at the moment. But I mean, just to wrap up, Celina, I mean, what's the future for Zindi? I mean, going into 2020, you've had a fantastic launch. What does the future hold?
Well, I mean, we're aiming for next year to hit numbers like 50,000 users. I mean,
Wow.
we're at 8,000 right now, and we would like to just see the community grow exponentially. So, that's one thing, and we're right now working on really exciting partnerships with some companies across Africa, and so we'll stay tuned. Hopefully, we can make some nice announcements early next year.
Well, it's a great success story for not only Cape Town and the Western Cape, but it's also for Africa as well. And Celina, always a pleasure, and thanks for joining us on AO TV today.
Thank you so much, Nick.